can't tell, and maybe it's harder to tell when I'm whispering, I'm a little sick. I just got back from a conference, and I feel like I don't know if I actually caught illness, which is potential. Obviously, new people, um, traveling, but also it was kind of like the hotel air just didn't feel right, and like I remember like the first night waking up, feel like I couldn't breathe, like it was very weird, and now I have this little like congestion thing going on. So if there's a bunch of random cuts in here, it's probably me sniffling or blowing my nose. Um, but I still wanted to get a little video done, just talking to you all a bit, mainly because, first of all, biggest point to talk about is that we hit 100 subscribers. I think as of the time of recording this, we're a little over 100, so it feels real. I definitely wouldn't have even, I didn't want to say it out loud when it first happened, just because I was like, someone's gonna play in my face and unsubscribe. But thank you so much for those of you who continue to come back every week and watch. If you're new here and haven't seen some of my original videos, I talk a lot about how this is fully a hobby for me. Like, this is I have so much going on in my like actual, like, I guess, life outside of this ASMR channel, and I really just wanted something that like I could work and pour into, but not feel like the pressure to perform like well. Just something I like to do with some time. So I really appreciate your support, because despite the fact that, it's never, I'm striving to hit the next goal, it more so just kind of like enables me to know that, like, you all enjoy something that I enjoy, and keeps me motivated to keep dedicating that time to myself. Because I think that's the hardest part for me about dedicating time to something that's not so goal-oriented for me, is to feel like, okay, well, if I'm too busy one week, the first thing to go is the ASMR channel, but that's not the case, because there's at least 100 of you, soon to be many more, I'm sure, who have, enjoyed this little corner of the internet that we've claimed for ourselves, and so I couldn't be more grateful. I do have a 100 subscribers special coming soon, and it honestly would have already been filmed and probably posted in lieu of this video if I wasn't sick right now. So there's that. But it's a super fun video that my friend helped me plan. She kind of thought of the whole concept, and then most recently in town, because she lives in up north. We'll just say up north, because that's where she goes to school. So she came down and gave me the stuff that we're gonna use in that video, but don't want to give too much away. But like I said, super grateful for all of the support. I don't even know, like, what keeps you coming back, because I feel like we have such a wide variety on the channel that, like, I don't even know. That's the one thing where I kind of honestly didn't even expect to have much growth. It's just the fact that, like, at the end of the day, I'm gonna record what I want to record, and not necessarily like the chosen hot topic. You know what I mean? Like, I know when I did those like kind of back-to-back roleplay videos, those got some pretty good views, and it was kind of like a, well, then should I just keep doing more roleplays? But it's like, I'm gonna film a roleplay when I want to film a roleplay, and I'm gonna film whatever when I feel like it, because that's part of the experience for me. Is to just have fun with whatever I film. So, that's all I have to say on that. I guess just that I'm so grateful, and I look forward to getting the 100 subscriber special out, but also just to keep making my videos. I'm honestly, and okay, I'm grateful for all of you, but I'm also grateful to myself for actually sticking through with like keeping some dedicated time on a weekly basis to filming for this channel. It has honestly helped me like feel productive, so on the go. Because that's, I think, the hardest part about being so productive in the like high stress areas of my life, is that rather than like sitting and acknowledging that I've done a lot, I'll sit and go, okay, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? And that can be challenging. That can be really hard, but and don't get me wrong, I still enjoy them 90%. 90% of what I'm doing in my real life. There's definitely a 10% that's getting cut here in the near future. But for the most part, everything is amazing. And so I gotta be more grateful for that. You know, I don't want to sit here and complain about opportunities I have, or, you know, things like that. Some people don't have the ability to have the opportunities that I have. So never misconstrue any remarks I make for like being unappreciative of that. But it is also important to feel fulfilled in all areas of your life. So there's that. Another thing to talk about would just be letting me know what ideas you have for videos. Like I said, it's fun for me to make the videos, but at the same time, I'm not opposed to just like going completely off of an idea that you guys give me. Because the worst case is you suggest an idea and it's not something I'm interested in doing, and I just don't do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's chill. Even if it's something that maybe I don't want to do when I first read it, but then it's like a month later, I'm like, oh, you know what? That idea would be really fun to film. So, those are all things just to think about. Definitely, if you're watching this right now, leave a comment of like your favorite ASMR video you've ever watched, like a specific ASMR video, and like tell me why you loved it. Give me either like tell me like the idea, the concept behind it, or maybe just something like out of maybe a larger video that you're like, well, I really loved this factor of that video, and that would be really interesting to know. Especially because YouTube gives you demographics, but like I don't know, you know, it doesn't tell me which ones of y'all like whispered versus soft spoken. It doesn't tell me which one of you likes the more roleplay versions versus like just rambles or reading. I do plan to make all of those videos that I asked about in my like community post. Like I do, because there's some ideas that I put all ideas that I wanted to do on there, mainly because I was like, whatever wins, I'll be happy with it. But I've just been so on the go that I kind of have been just jumping to the first thought that comes to my head when I sit down to film, and I haven't gotten back to some of those ideas. Oh my gosh, everyone. My dog just came in. This is Rico. Rico, say hi. I don't think she's very interested in the ASMR life. Oh, hi. This is such a casual video, so you know what? I'm glad she came in because now you can meet her. Oh, are you trying to get down? Why don't you? Oh, was that a sneeze? Okay, I'm putting you down. I don't even know where I was, but yeah, give me ideas. Like I said, this is a great time to just with every milestone is a reminder that you have a say in what we do in our community. Oh, can y'all hear Rico sneezing? She just jumped on my bed. I guess before I go, just to give a little more ASMR-y stuff, I'll give a little backstory to Miss Rico over here. So Rico was given to me by my grandmother, who passed away a few years ago. But she got the dog when I really wanted a dog, and so she, like, I remember this is when, so I used to live with my grandma growing up. But at this time, you know, I live where I'm at now, and she was still home. But we had set up like a security system in the house just to, you know, for safety and making sure everything's okay, and also like just to check in on like some common areas. Because, you know, as you get older, it's like you want to check in on people more, but you don't want to feel like bombarded. So we had set up like a camera that she knew about, obviously, which will make sense when I get to the part of the story. But we'd set up a camera like in the living room area, just so that way, like, my grandma was hanging out in the living room, we could see her. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like an invasion of privacy sort of thing. It was more so just like a, hey, just so we don't have to bug you every time, we're just trying to like check in and make sure you're okay. We still called her every day because I mean, love her. So, um, but anyway, it was funny because I get a call from her one day, and she says, um, "Well, what are you?" Or no. I don't know if it was like, "What are you doing?" It was just kind of like, "Go look on the camera." Like I said, she knew about the camera, so she was just kind of like, "Go look at the camera." Um, and so I go look on the camera on the phone because I'm like, "What?" And I remember it was late. I don't know if it was late or if it was early, but the lights, she didn't have the lights on. Like the lights down the hall were on. Like you could, I think it must have been late because she was probably going to bed. But she was like, "Oh, let me show him." Um, and so it's like her in the dark, backlit because it's like the hallway light down the way is lit up. But she's standing on the phone. I see my grandmother standing on the phone like this, and then in the other hand is Rico, but like so little tiny itty bitty Rico, because she fit like perfectly in just like her little hand like this. And she was like, you know, hey, oh my gosh, also tan line. I feel like I didn't tan when I was in Florida, but then I see like that, and I'm like, oh, okay, we definitely tanned. Um, but yeah, she was holding and what was so funny too is that like, you know, the camera is just there, and also I don't even think she really knew where like to look in the camera. She just knew it was where it generally was. So she just was standing like in the middle of the room like this, not even like looking at the camera like, hey, do you see it? Just kind of like, have you seen it? Like, have you seen what I'm trying to show you? Um, but that was amazing, and obviously, you know, sad when she passed away, but it's lovely the way those things work out. That, you know, every time I see Rico and love on Rico, I'm reminded of her, and so um, it's really happy overall, and that's one of those memories that like I'll have forever. I named the way I named Rico. So, um, as far as I knew, I thought Rico was a boy when she first got Rico. Um, and my favorite rapper. This is so random. So this explains Rico's name. Because also, I'm sure you're aware that dog names, at least in their genesis, are not legally binding. I did not have to, you know, change a birth certificate if I wanted to not have her name be Rico. But I heard the name. I heard it was a boy, and I was like, okay, well, I really like this rapper called Rico Nasty, and Rico Nasty is a female rapper, but she goes by Rico Nasty, and I was like, well, you know what? Traditionally, Rico's like kind of a boy's name anyway, so we'll just go with Rico, because that's like my favorite rapper right now, and I thought that'd be also just like a cute dog name, like Rico. Um, but then, okay, so here's the second story time. This will be my second little story about Rico, and then we'll go. But um, Rico got lost in the house. Um, Obviously, it wasn't going to be long term that my grandmother take care of the dog. She had just gotten the dog from someone in the neighborhood. And so my grandmother called, and I can't remember if she called and wasn't sure where the dog was. I think she just casually, maybe she like was cognizant of the fact that the dog had been missing. I don't even remember how long Rico had been missing, but we knew she was in the house. But um, I think my grandmother called and was like, "Can you check the cameras?" She was like, "Can you check the cameras and see if you see the dog?" She was like, "I don't know where the dog is." And I was like, oh no. So it literally was like a whole thing where it was like, I think at this point we had set one up in her bedroom too, um, just to like, those were the two main spots. It was like her bedroom or her living room. Um, but we were watching and trying to find Rico, and I was like, and she was walking around like, Rico, where are you? Well, I don't know if she said that because technically, I don't know if it was officially like the dog had been named Rico yet, since I hadn't. It took about a week between me finding out about the dog and then me getting there to get the dog. Um, and so we call and call. I'm calling. The cameras have like audio, like I can talk through the camera, so like I'm talking to the cameras while, you know, my grandmother's in all parts of the house looking. Um, and it was I had bought on like a recent vacation. I think it was to Belize, where I'm from originally, where my family's from originally. Um, think we had gone to Belize, and I had bought like a little like whistle. They had like these little clay whistles, and so I remember like I was like, maybe the dog will come for like an unfamiliar noise. And so I literally had to blow the whistle through the camera, and then immediately Rico came out from essentially like my grandmother's closet, because it was a closet that has like a curtain, so it's not a door. Um, but she was just hanging out in there, probably like laying on a shoe, because I think she could fit just on a shoe at the time. But she came out fine, no mess, no stress. Was not alarmed in any way, just was there. Um, but I thought that was funny. And so then when I finally did get there, my aunt came, I think, at that point, just to pick up the dog, to just be like, it's chill, in case you don't have to worry about the dog going missing any again. So she took the dog, and so I ended up going to my aunt first to pick up Rico. And when I got there, I was like, Rico's fully a girl. No. Okay. But I was like, you know what? I'm still gonna name her Rico, because that even fits more with the genesis of the name being a female rapper named Rico Nasty. And it's really cute, because I think it's funny, because sometimes we do call her Rico Nasty, especially if she's like went outside him and she's gotten dirty. It's like, okay, Rico Nasty. Um, I think it was a perfect name. I have another dog. Her name is Maya, which I don't know where she's at right now. I mean, she's in the house, but Maya has a way of always being in like the furthest room from people, unless she's interested in something, unless it's time to eat, or um, she has a vested interest in something else. I don't know, but so I'm sure she's somewhere just hanging out. But overall, thank you so much for watching. I know this video is a little like, I know I do rambles, but this was definitely all over the place. But like I said, a little sick, but I didn't want to like leave y'all out in the cold, especially as we just hit 100 subscribers. I was like, I have to at least touch base with y'all. So stay positive, I think, is the biggest thing I'll leave you with. Stay positive. And I'll even leave it at that, whatever that means to you in terms of what's stressing you in life. Because obviously we have stresses that are specific, and also stresses that are pretty universal right now, given things in the world. So stay positive, and we'll get through this. But anyway, I'm glad you watched and enjoyed. Hopefully enjoyed. But until next time, bye-bye.